Hey guys, I'm Paradise, and today I wanted to bring you an Elden Ring weapon that you may not have heard of that's incredibly good for multiple layers of reasons, which we're going to go over in this video. So if you do enjoy these Elden Ring videos, make sure to click like down below and subscribe for all the other videos on the channel. So let's jump into it and talk about the Clayman's Harpoon. This is an incredibly great weapon for multiple reasons, including the fact that it's an innate scaling int and strength weapon, but it also has a customizable Ash of War, which not only means you can use some of the better abilities in the game like Bloodhound Step, or maybe even something like Spinning Weapon, or literally anything that you fancy, but when you do this you also get to apply an affinity to the weapon, and this is where the fun and the customization and part of the greatness of this weapon comes in. You could go for something like magic or cold scaling. Cold scaling is particularly good for this and obviously gives you that frostbite build-up. The moveset is very fast hitting, very rapid. You can power stance it if you farm 2 of them, so this is a very good option as well. But you could always go with the standard, keen or heavy depending on your stat distribution, and therefore buff it with either the int buffs like Scholar's Armament, which basically doubles the weapon's damage by the way, or if you're going for like a faith kind of hybrid build, you could use the faith buffs and you have a plethora of different buffs from electric to holy to poison, whatever you want to put onto the weapon. So already this weapon is viable in a multitude of different int strength, int dex, int faith builds, whatever you're going for, including pure int by the way. But it also can be used with a shield or, like I said before, power stance to further boost it. And again, if you're power stancing 2 of these that are both cold affinity, you're going to proc that frostbite very fast because you're hitting rapidly with 2 different fast hitting spears. And on top of that, you can compare that with something like Fire's Deadly Sin to be constantly ticking fire damage around you, to therefore be constantly removing the frostbite effect to be able to reapply it again. The weapon itself only requires 12 strength, int, and 10 dex, which means this is viable to get quite early game, and you can actually farm this quite early game as well. I also really like the visual way the weapon looks. It's a harpoon with a tip that's been made from a sharpened meteorite shard, and it's the same harpoon that's used by the Claymen who infest the dynastic remains that are below in the underground areas of the map. The weapon itself also emits a faint light and innately deals magic damage, as is shown in the description. There are several places that you can farm this, from the Palace Ruins to Siofra River to Ainsel River, but honestly the Ainsel River downstream Grace Point is by far the best one that I could find. If you spawn here and follow the route that I do, there's an absolute ton of Claymen to farm. It's important to know that only the Claymen that wield the spear will have a chance to drop the spear, but there's a lot of them in this area. So the way that I did this was simply farm all of the spearmen in this area, fast travel back and repeat. There are also several tricks that you can do to increase your item discovery, because this is a rare drop, so you will have to get lucky, but we already have a video on the channel that you can see on the screen now that will show you all the ways to maximize your discovery so that you can get this drop relatively easily. I chose to farm 2 of these, and it didn't take me longer than 20 minutes because I used all of the items at my disposal to increase my discovery to get a better drop chance, and that's how I got 2 of them quite quickly. I really suggest, if you're going for an int strength, int dex, or some kind of int faith build, that you go and farm 1 or 2 of these and just try it out, especially with the weapon buffing incantations and sorceries. This weapon is actually incredible, and if you don't want to use the weapon buffing incantations or sorceries, try the cold affinity. The frostbite builds up so fast when you're hitting with 2 of them in power stance that it's actually insane, and it's such a cool weapon. This is definitely one of the better viable int innate weapons in the game. If I were to start a new game now, I think I would go out of my way to farm this relatively early, as I think this would be quite fun to play the game through with, as both the single-handed and power stance combo is so powerful. If you did enjoy this video and you decide to go and farm this, let us know down in the comments what you think of it. Of course, drop a like and subscribe if you do find these videos helpful or enjoyable, and we have another video on screen now that we think you would really enjoy, so don't miss out and make sure to click the video on screen next so that you don't miss out.